Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So in this video, I'm gonna discuss about FDI. So that's a foreign direct investment and the major changes which the government of India did yesterday, the 17th of April, right? So let's understand what is this FDI. So as we know, any foreign companies may invest in private Indian companies or in business in India, they can do it, but there are few ways and there are few say kind of rules and approvals which they need to follow. So if they are following those rules, then they may invest in India, and that's obviously if someone is investing in your country or in your say business, that would also help in growth, right? So that's a say major, we can say major monetary source for economic development of India as well, right? So that's in short FDI. So let's see what changes government of India did, right? So there's a notice circular yesterday which has been done by Ministry of Commerce and Industry, right? So there's a Department for Promotion of Industry and International Trade. If you see here, FDI policy section. So it explains the present position. So what is present position now, and what has been changed? So that we're going to discuss. So what it says, a non-resident entity can invest in India, okay, subject to the FDI policy, except in those sectors activities which are prohibited, right? So that's the first thing. And further it says, however, a citizen of Bangladesh or an entity incorporated in Bangladesh can invest only under the government route, right? So let's understand what is this government route, right? So if you need to invest, if any foreign company need to invest in India, there are two routes. The first route is automatic route. Uh, in automatic routes, there's no government of India or RBI approval required, and the second route is government route, right, where pre-approval is required. Okay, so I hope you understand now what is government route here, right? So that means it requires a government approval. So if anyone who is a citizen of Bangladesh or any entity incorporated in Bangladesh, they need to require a government approval, right? So further, a citizen of Pakistan or any entity incorporated in Pakistan can invest. So they can also invest, but what the condition here? Only under the government route. Okay, so they need to go in the government route, but so they need to have a government approval to invest, right? So that's a present position. Now let's see what is revised position. Okay, so in revised position, what says, a non-resident entity can invest in India subject to the FDI policy except in those sectors or activities which are prohibited. However, an entity of a country which shares land borders. Okay, so this is a important condition here. Okay, so let's see what is land border. So currently it was saying say Bangladeshi only, but yeah, now the condition is anyone who is sharing a land border with India. So there are many countries who is sharing the land borders. Pakistan is sharing Bangladesh, China, Nepal, Myanmar, Bhutan, Afghanistan. So these are the countries, I think you may already aware. So these are the countries which is sharing a land border with India, and we know that people are afraid of China because they are doing it. It could be hoax or it could be something like all this chaos. So they are doing investment. So I think it's a very great step done by government of India. So now all these countries, and the majorly for the China, they if they need to invest in India, they need to have a government approval, right? So they need to take a government approval before doing that. So the same thing which share land border with India or where the beneficial owner of an investment into India is situated in or is a citizen of any such country. So if you are a citizen of such countries as well, then you also need to take a government approval, right? And the second condition, so this further a citizen of Pakistan. So this is the same whatever is present condition, right? So you need to understand that now if anyone countries, all these countries, because they are sharing a land border, especially China, they need to take approval, right? So that's a bold step done. Now let's see. where you can check all these bits, right? I will first go this investindia.gov.in, and then we will go through dipp.gov.in, where we can see all these circular or notice. All right, so let's go quickly. Uh, Okay, so if you go on this investindia.gov.in, you can find all these details about the FDI, that's investment climate, right? So it's been clearly mentioned what all these categories. So if you need to know in detail, you can visit this site. You can see all those bits. But this is more about who wants to invest in India, right? So for the general purpose, whatever I told you, like automatic route or government route, you can take a look here, and that's the same thing which I told you, right? There's another bit. There's a sector specific condition for FDI. So if you need to check, you can go and check for all these sectors and filter by routes. Like you can see for agriculture and animal husbandry, it's 100% automatic. There are few categories which are say mentioned as the banking or public sector, where there's no automatic, only government approval required at 20%. So uh, whosoever want to invest in India, they can check and all these sectors and what the percentage shares and all that, right? So there are prohibited sectors also mentioned here, like lottery, gambling, chit funds, nidhi company, trading and transferable, real estate business, manufacturing of cigars. So all these things are mentioned on this site. You don't need to go through if you're not planning to invest, and you can show all this filling application, right? So that's the one thing where you can find the investment details. The second bit, which I told you about the circular. So if you go on this site, that's Department for Promotion of Industry and Internal Trade. Uh, right. So if you go there, there are circulars over there, and in terms there's a circular for Press Note 2020. So if you go here, you would see all the circulars which I told you, and there's a snapshot over there in the slide. So that's been extracted, and if you can clearly see, this was revised on yesterday, 17th April, right? So I hope it would be very clear, and yeah, you would know this is something I think you need to know about what's happening all over India or world, right? So thanks for watching. If you find this video useful, you can like and yeah, subscribe my channel for all those latest video updates. All right, take care, bye.